The SIPOC is a process that we use, again, sitting alongside the charter that we've created to help us scope out the boundaries and the end-to-end of the value stream. We use this during the workshop just to ensure that we don't have any scope creep in the process. There's always the temptation to go down a certain avenue, and we need to just remind ourselves of the SIPOC to then say whether we are out of scope or in scope. We also use it as a checklist for the completion of the current state to see whether we've covered all aspects that we talked about during the SIPOC activity. Who is involved in performing this? Again, we ask for the VSM owner, partly because they are able to provide insights that the value stream mapping team may not be aware of, and will have deeper knowledge in this area to help keep the team inside the right scope for the best outcome. And the desired outcome from this activity is that we have a document that we can publish in the value stream mapping area, and it gives us a very clear scope of work. We can also check actually that the end result of the SIPOC matches up with the charter that we've published. So the two documents should find themselves providing a check and balance as to whether we have the correct scope. The process itself is very simple. We're looking at who are the suppliers in our value stream map, what are the inputs to the process itself, the outputs, and who are the customers. Just for simplicity, it's usually simplest to provide a list of the block steps that we have in the value stream. So in this case, we can see we start with drill in mining, blast, load, through to loading onto the ship. And then it's really up to the team as to whether they build out left or whether they build out to the right. In most cases, it's quite useful to understand what the outputs are. And in this case, it would be the PB blend, the SP10, and maybe some of the other products if they are in scope. Then we can understand who the customers are in the process and where does that actually end. So based on the charter that we created, we understood that the customer in this case would be the ship, as we were excluding port side in China. Inputs to the process could be anything from plans that we create. So the plod, for example, is an input. The train schedule that is created, or the optimization that is done by the control team. And suppliers to the process could be our contractors or the likes of Caterpillar and Komatsu. Once we've managed to complete the SIPOC, and it really should not take more than 30 to 40 minutes to create the document, we can then, like we said before, just check it against the charter, publish it in the room, and then we have a very good roadmap for the start of the current state mapping process.